All right, welcome back to another episode of the Cody Tucker Show. As always, I'm your host, Cody Tucker. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. You might have seen her on the old Black and Orange website. Unless you live in Texas, then you do not see that anymore. But also a writer, see her on BuzzFeed, a lot of shit. Welcome to the podcast, Addis Fouche. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Tucker. Hi, I'm good. And rest in peace to all the horny people who are in Texas and now
Uh,
just have to use their imagination.
it is. Let me tell you. I mean, we're running on about 36 hours, and boy,
I love that you just checked your skin.
it's a natural sundial.
Yeah.
But yeah, boy, it has gotten rough. Like my right arm is atrophying at an alarming rate.
Oh, I'm sure. So what does that tell you? That tells us that you're a lefty, right?
No, a righty. My right
As
arm is
your atrophy
atrophying.
gonna get smaller, your right arm's getting
Yeah,
smaller because the
yeah,
left
because you're
arm's
not
doing all the
using it.
work. Oh, you
No,
know
no,
what?
no, no. Hold on. Wait.
What? Yeah, right.
Atrophy
Your
means
right arm's getting smaller because your left arm's doing all the work.
no, 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 no. Right
No,
arm doing all the work. I mean, I guess in some ways I'm a switch hitter, but typically go right. And no, like the muscle builds up in the right. Whenever
yeah,
break an arm or something, it atrophies because you're not using it anymore. Right
yeah,
hand is not being used because there's no more damn
right. So you're using the
website.
left.
Holy shit. Hold on now. I think we're okay. Right right hand.
Right hand.
So here's right hand. This is the
Okay.
one, putting in a lot of work lately.
Yes.
Now muscle starts to build up because you're putting in all the work.
Correct.
Now the old pH is gone.
Yes.
So this arm no longer doing any work. Atrophy.
I follow. I thought you meant generally speaking, that you've been doing a lot of imagination work to
No.
compensate for it, and you've had to
Well,
work extra hard. Okay.
well, that
Okay.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
I have
Okay. That's what I
acquired
thought. I was like,
quite a
oh
bang.
my god. I was like, he's working
Yeah.
that right arm so hard. Like,
No, it's yeah, boy, it's gonna be bad. I'm gonna have to put a damn windshield wiper on my laptop
I think
once
you
this
will.
thing comes back in.
I think you might have to start joining some Telegram groups, some Discord groups, stuff like that. Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to start waiting up at late at night and catching those like phone sex commercials.
Oh my god. Yeah,
End
you
up
can
getting
find me on Sex Panther actually. I use Sex Panther. So, which is
yeah,
a site that somebody asked me what that is. They asked me yesterday. It's
yeah.
basically imagine OF, but it's just chatting. So it's like you're sexting with a girl. So you can do like
Okay.
texting. Sometimes I do voice notes for people who like my voice. I'll do
Okay.
video calls, phone calls. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
God, that sounds like
Yeah, because I'm such a conversationalist, so it actually comes super naturally to me.
God. You have an amazing life.
Oh, thank
Like,
you. That is so true. It's so
holy
true.
shit. I mean, so obviously I did not even come close to going through all the shit that you do. But if
Right.
one were to go onto your website or anything and see just the list of things that you do, I mean, obviously adult film, writing, but you write like a fuckload, and then all the like business side of everything. I mean, how do you have time for like anything? How are you doing this right now?
Cody Tucker, I'm a Virgo. I always get it done. Baby, I
I
always
don't
get it
know what
done.
that means,
So,
but all
what
right.
is your sign, by the way?
Oh fuck, Sagittarius. Do you believe in all that?
Of course I do. Of course I do. Ah, the thumbs up. I'm gonna stop doing that. Okay,
What
wait.
is that
So
thumbs up coming from?
it's because my thumb. I'm putting it up. Right? Is it gonna come back?
Okay. Boy,
What?
it was confusing the hell out of me for a second.
Yeah.
I'm easily distracted, so
Sounds like a Sagittarius thing to do. You know, be
no, it
distracted.
doesn't.
When's your birthday? Is it in December? I'm assuming,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, December 7th.
Okay, yeah. So Sagittarius is you guys are fire signs. So one thing about you guys
Okay.
is you love a sense of wanderlust and you love options, right? You may or may not take the options, but you love the idea of having them because being tied down and being in a box freaks you guys out. Yes or no?
Okay. Well, hold on. So yes, but also, if I were lying right now and said that I was born May 5th,
Okay.
would that still apply?
No.
But it would be true because those things are true.
Right, because you're a Sagittarius.
Oh, what the fuck? I mean, but it's such a vague thing. Like that. I
Oh,
mean, so
here's the thing. Do you want to know why I love astrology so much?
yes, because I'm not trying to like shit on you for liking
Oh,
astrology
you're
or
definitely
anything.
not.
I
Oh,
just
yeah.
I don't get it. I don't
So the
get
thing about
the
astrology that I love is that I really love that so many ancient cultures came up with the same conclusion without having any contact with each other. You find elements of this, in the Mayans, the Incas, the Romans, the Greeks, and I'm very fascinated. The Egyptians. How did all of you guys come up with the same realizations, decades, centuries apart? But also, too, I mean, humans are what, 70% water, 80% water, something like that, right? So if the moon, which is just one of the planets, right? Like celestial things in the sky. If that can literally move bodies of water and tides, I don't think it's outlandish to say that the moon and other planets, and moving stuff like that can have effects on humans, even in a very minor way. So that's what I think. But also too, astrology is not supposed to be like vapid reading like some horoscope shit in Cosmo and like thinking that's supposed to apply to you. It's super complex. So sometimes when I meet, especially white guys, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm a Taurus and he's a Taurus and like we're different. I'm like, first of all, babes, your names are Chad and Brad. You're not that different. Okay, start there. Second of all, like his Taurus might be in his 4th house. The other person's Taurus sign might be in their 7th house, and there's 12 houses. Everybody has all of them, but you may have signs in, that occupy some and not others. So it manifests itself a little bit differently, It's like sometimes people are really neurotic about certain things, like getting to a place on time, and other times people are more neurotic about like, does their outfit look cute? Like that.
So I'm definitely not neurotic in the second part, but very neurotic in the first part. Neurotic in general, but I don't really give 2 shits about what I'm wearing. I mean,
you know what? Honestly,
3 days in a row, and I don't
3.
Know. Maybe 4.
I'm gonna have to call the Sagittarius president, tell him to kick you out the club.
That's fine. Get me out of that shit. Let me tell you something. You want to know another thing that ancient civilizations all did that didn't meet each other? Sacrifice people.
That is
Every ancient civilization used to just cut people's heads off and throw them down a pyramid.
Do you think we don't sacrifice people now?
Not in the same way.
Not in the same way, but we definitely do it because we're like, oh, this random poor person can totally work, 18 hours a day in the Amazon factory. But God heavens, if we suggest that a Kennedy work in the Amazon factory, let's ask that guy to do it.
Well, but also.
Did I just cheer you up or not, Cody Tucker?
Well, no. I mean, goddamn, this is going to turn into such a huge debate.
I know. One thing about me, also another thing is because I read so much in order to be able to write so well, you do not want to get into an argument with me because I will argue down. It's a blessing and a curse, honestly.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I am very argumentative. And I mean, I grew up around people that are like, well, my granddad was a lawyer. So very like, if you even in passing mention something that he didn't agree with, just fucking right down your throat. So you have to be like, I mean, not like, I mean, I'm making it sound like I grew up, like a fucking Jackson, but it's not,
exactly.
But no, I mean, it was not like that crazy, but I just grew up being very argumentative. So I definitely don't think that any Kennedy probably should be working in an Amazon warehouse.
No, definitely not. It's funny.
They're rich. If you're rich, why would you work at an Amazon warehouse? You work there because you don't have any fucking options.
But also rich people do really random things. Like that's what I learned going to boarding school in New England, going to Middlebury College, which has an acceptance rate of about 15%. So imagine like you go to a school where they reject 85% of the people who apply, right? And then the school itself is about $65,000 to $75,000 a year.
Jesus.
A year, right? And so of course there's Kennedys in parties, Kennedys in my class, right? Like it was that kind of environment. And I think part of what makes me such a good performer and such a good writer is that I assume nothing and I ask everything. So if I'm on camera and someone is, I'm giving someone a really sloppy blowjob, it's because I already know that that's what they like. So I can read people to anticipate, but I never assume because I mean, that's what I hate about people like assuming things about me, right? Like I'm a porn star, but I also used to work in corporate advertising. My first campaign actually straight out of college was the Bud Light Dilly Dilly campaign with the Knights. Remember when they're like Dilly Dilly? That was my very first campaign. I worked on that. I've worked on Equinox. I've worked on Planned Parenthood. I've worked on Lyft, all of Nestle's waters. I've worked on MCM bags and 3 of DuPont's verticals. So like Kevlar is the stuff that goes in bulletproof vests, makes it bulletproof. Nomex, which is the stuff that goes in like race car driver suits, not flammable, and then Tyvek, the stuff you wrap at home in. I worked on all of those things. So it's like, because I have such a vast knowledge of a lot of things, and then within the things, vast knowledge, I think I just am now learning how so many systems and things go together that it makes me just not assume things, and it kind of humanizes me and I think other people a lot. Yeah,
assumptions usually come out of people being ignorant as shit. Because they know like, there's something about the more you know, the more you realize you don't know something.
Yeah.
Like, like I was like a history major and all that shit. Very fascinated by history. I comfortably think that I know 0.1% of history.
Absolutely.
Like I know nothing about history compared
Also,
to like
think about
what
the
there
fact
is.
that most history that was written down was about men. So there's so much that we don't even have written down and recorded.
Well, right, because most of the people that were doing shit in history were men.
So
I
we
mean,
know. Yeah,
well,
right.
they were the only people allowed to do shit.
That's
I
true.
mean,
That's true,
if
but also,
it was an even playing field, it wouldn't be that way, but it wasn't
mhm.
ever an even playing field. I mean,
No,
you
but I
didn't have
also
like
wonder
women
about things
leading
like,
militaries and all that. Like,
I wonder about even different cultural things. Like, let's say in ancient Egypt, like the men were only allowed to do this one thing. So during that time, all the women had to do this other thing. We'll never find out about the other thing. We'll never find out if they
true.
were like, if they played instruments that we never got to hear or learn about that were like, that influenced the piano, right? Stuff like that,
Yeah.
that we just like will never know of. But you're right. Like, I agree with you. The more that I know, the less that I know. And I actually heard someone say that when I was at rehab. So I've been to rehab twice. I'm a sober person. I do not drink. I do not smoke.
Same.
All the above. And I've done pretty much everything except for heroin. So safe to say that from the ages of 14 to 25, I was either a very high performance athlete who was like training really hard for some sort of race. I would eat the same exact breakfast before every race because I knew exactly what worked for my body and how to time it in order to win. Or I would just like go on a bender and not come home for like 3 days.
Yeah. You didn't want to try heroin?
Nah, I heard it feels too good. Also, I was really not. I was also not. I really got bored of pill. Like I was much more of an uppers person. Uppers and alcohol.
Oh, okay. We are very different.
Yeah, very, very different.
I'm
so
low, like sink me into a fucking couch.
Yeah. Oh no. I'm like, let's go do stuff and talk for 15 hours.
God, if hell is a real thing, that's hell to me.
Yeah.
Oh God, if heaven's real, it's probably just like pushing off and shooting up. Like if you ever watch Train Spotting, that sounds like that whole thing of just being a smackhead. Boy, does it sound appealing. And I'm sober too. Like I quit drinking a couple of years ago, but I never did drugs, like hardcore drugs. I mean, I did like a couple pills, sometimes like Xanax or something, but like nothing crazy. My drinking was so fucking out of control. But there was always a part of me that was like, if I were to get my hands on heroin, I'd be dead within a week.
Oh, 100%. I heard it's the best. Like someone described it as like, when you're cutting paper and like you're cutting it for a while and it just glides. I heard it's like that, but forever. I was like, no.
So what I've heard, have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
Of course.
Okay. So John Travolta had never done heroin, obviously Scientology, big no. Sure. Whereas other things are not big no-nos, but whatever. I don't want to, I mean, killing your wife and keeping, anyways, never mind.
Right.
So, allegedly. So John Travolta had never done heroin, had no idea what it was like. So Quentin Tarantino was like, shit, we got to figure out, you got to figure out what it's like so that you can act like you're on heroin. So they went and asked a couple of people at a rehab, what is this like? Like, what is heroin like? And every single one of them told them that it's like getting drunk on tequila and sitting in a hot tub. And so that's what they did. Him and Quentin Tarantino got drunk on tequila and sat in a hot tub that night.
Oh my God.
Boy, does that sound. I mean, I don't like tequila, but getting drunk and sitting in a hot tub is holy fuck.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. I was very much, when I was an active drinker, I was very much a wine and tequila person. Sometimes I take vodka shots. I did love picklebacks. I was not a beer girl. Pickleback is when you take a shot of whiskey and you chase it with pickle juice.
Ew.
Nah, that's just it neutralizes it. You're like, whoa, you don't think it works, but it works.
This is going to sound maybe sexist. I hope not. But why do women like pickle juice so much?
You know what? I don't know, but I did find myself last week next to the fridge drinking the sauerkraut juice.
Oh, what the fuck is? Okay, that. But am I right that women tend to like that way more than men? I don't know any dude that's like, God, I got to get my hands on a fucking pickle.
I've heard that a lot of common pregnancy craving is pickles and peanut butter.
Yeah. What the fuck? Okay, so that is a thing because I've heard that multiple times. And I was like, thank God I can never get pregnant. Which I mean, jury's out, I guess. I mean, I'm
Honestly, if you get pregnant, what would you name the baby? I have a whole list of names that I like, but what would you name your baby?
Fuck. Okay, the comedy side of me wants to give him a hardcore Chinese name just to confuse the shit out of people.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, I don't want to give an example because every Chinese name that is an actual Chinese name sounds racist, which is not good.
You could just name him like one of my favorite Chinese filmmakers, because I speak fluent Chinese, so I can actually tell you. Is Wong Kar-wai. 我很好你呢?
Okay.
我很喜欢你的衬衫.
I just know ni hao, and then like what's hold on, is there like bushi bush never mind. I'm
what were you gonna say? 不喜欢.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Don't like.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I try to learn languages, mostly just got Spanish and German, which
that's not bad.
I don't know why I went with German. It might be
I know. Teach me something in German. How do you say don't like in German?
Ich möchte nicht.
Ich möchte nicht.
All right. So you like ich. Well, you can say möchte or brauche. Brauche is like I don't need or I don't like, but ich brauche nicht.
That's hard as hell.
Yeah, German sucks. Like I like a lot of German movies. I watch a lot of foreign films, which is hard not to say out loud without sounding like a prick. But I do watch a lot of foreign films, and it's nice to kind of like know what the hell they're saying. So I was like, I should learn German and French. And French is really just a bullshit language.
No, I agree with you. Actually, I feel you on the watching foreign films and knowing what people are saying. That actually happens to me with Chinese all the time. When I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, it honestly felt like I was watching a different movie because the subtitles were so different. There was one part towards the end of the film where the father is like, it's the way you look at me. And that's how he's explaining, that's how I know something is wrong between us. But the actual direct translation says, your eyes tell me everything I need to know. And I was like, oh,
that's awesome. Holy shit.
I know, it's really, really different.
It's the same thing with The Simpsons. The Simpsons in Spanish is apparently a million times funnier.
Really?
Yeah. And so I've tried watching it. Like my Spanish isn't like great, but it's good enough. And it is fucking hilarious. Pixar movies also are way better in Spanish.
Ooh. Speaking of Pixar, have you gone to Disneyland yet? Because a friend of mine actually works at Pixar in San Francisco, and she said that she gets a free pass to Disneyland. So she goes sometimes. The next time I'm in LA, we are going to go to Disneyland. I've never been.
So I've never been to Disneyland because I heard it was dog shit, but Disney World is incredible.
Oh, it is. Epcot?
Oh my God. Epcot is my shit because I hate roller coasters. Fucking hate it. Oh yeah, I do not like being scared. I'm already scared of everything. So adding to it is not like something I'm interested in. But walking around and seeing people pretending like they're in another country, I'm into that for sure.
That is so, honestly, that's like me walking around in like Philadelphia. It feels like I'm in Brooklyn. I feel like Philly is the place of America.
Huh. What, like both kind of like shitty?
It's stop. I am a native New Yorker, so don't you dare say
I know. So
you know what? It's so funny because people ask me all the time. They're like, you film, always in LA or in Miami and sometimes in Vegas. Would you ever move to any of them permanently? The thing is, I think out of all three, I vibe the best with Miami. Because there's like a sense of urgency. People have places to be because the party industry, but like LA is full of the most unserious people I've ever met. Yeah. And the vibe is it's weird. I just am not super into the vibe. I think I would live there for a few months, for work purposes. But as of where I'm at in my life right now, I don't know if LA is the place for me. I walk pretty much everywhere. I don't know how to drive. So I walk or I take an Uber or I take the subway. I do not take the bus and I do not city bike because why would I arrive anywhere sweaty? Are you kidding me? Why are you
God, a city bike sounds like the worst fucking thing ever. I mean, if it was 1845, then sure. But we got rid of bikes when we made cars. It's kind
also there's no helmets for city bikes. So I mean, would you want a city bike sponsored helmet? No, whose head was that?
You would get lice so quick. Have you ever had lice?
No, because I'm black.
Oh, can you not get lice?
Black people get lice way less often than white people.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Huh. Yeah, I've never had lice either.
Okay.
No. But I know, like, I remember kids, like, growing up that would get lice all the time. And I was like, you're the most disgusting fucking person.
Right. What do you mean all the time?
Yeah. No, people that would get lice a lot. They would have like, do the whole mayonnaise thing like pretty often. Yeah.
Speaking of, have you ever been sprayed by a skunk? Did you ever try the tomato bath? Has that ever?
No. So I've never been sprayed by a skunk. I have gotten hammered drunk and chased one around an apartment complex though. And it did spray shit into an open window where somebody was living.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, me and a buddy cornered one and it fucking was just going spraying. Luckily not pointed at us. It was pointing at the window. And we looked, it's just like the screen on the window, not the actual glass.
Yes.
So that person, boy, they did not have a great night.
No, that's terrible. Oh, thank God we don't drink anymore. It's really interesting now because like people always ask me, if me doing porn and sex work have anything to do with my addiction, and the answer is no. Like I started drinking and doing drugs and experimenting when I was 14, and I started doing sex work when I was 19. So it was half a decade later once I started, unleashing my inner hoe. And so it was actually kind of an interesting story of how I even got started in the porn industry. So when I graduated from college, I went on to work in advertising. Actually, I almost became a soul cycle instructor because that was one of my 2 jobs in college. I was a barista, so I can make any drink better than Pete's Coffee, better than Starbucks. You fucking name it, I can do it. Or I was also a spin instructor at the spin studio, which of course Middlebury has its own spin studio, like any wealthy New England college should. So, to get my foot in the door when I was working in advertising, I was working 2 unpaid internships the summer of 2015. So working 100 hours a week, making actually 0 money. And one of my clients actually was product of the year. That's what I worked on. And one of my friends was like, hey, there's this website called Seeking Arrangement. I think you'd be really good at it. Not even just because of the time flexibility, but because I'm good with people, because I am attractive, and this might be something that could be good for you. And so that's kind of how I got introduced to the sex industry and even what it was. And then during lockdown, I helped a few friends with their OnlyFans, and I made one video with another girl, and we were going to send that video off to somebody else, and we realized right before we sent it that person was like a little off, and we felt not comfortable sending it to them. So I'm like, well, we just recorded this like 40-minute girl video custom, like what do we do? And she was like, well, make an OnlyFans, it might do well. So I made one, and it started to get a little bit of traction on Twitter. I was on TikTok talking about, my life as a sober person, the sex industry, my life as a native New Yorker. I made a TikTok about how like being a sugar baby is just putting pussy on layaway. And it really is. And so at the same time, I started volunteering for Sex Workers Outreach Project, which is a grassroots organization specifically targeted to help sex workers. And one thing that I did was on Fridays, I would put together the wellness kits for the street workers in East New York, which is a very low income area in New York. So I would do dental kits, menstrual kits, safe sex kits, safe drug use kits, COVID kits, and we would hand them out. And one day, someone DM'd me on Twitter and was like, hey, Addis, would you ever consider doing mainstream porn? And this person had a lot of mutuals on Twitter with my volunteer friends. So I was able to ask them, like, is this person safe? Is he legit? Is he normal? Everybody said yes. And so I thought, you know what? I already do pretty much everything else. And I'm very involved in the community, especially now. It makes sense why someone would ask me that. And why not? So I said yes. And my first scene was with Net Video Girls. It actually has about 2 million views on Pornhub right now. And the thing with Net Video Girls, it's pretty good. Yeah. They shoot all in one take POV. So you are on camera straight through, no breaks. And so you have to be really focused and really locked in. I think my meditation and being sober really helps me with that. So from the intro to the little reality element to the actual performance to the outro is all one take. And they yelled cut and they were like, can you come back tomorrow? So I actually have about 4 or 5 scenes with them. But most of them are threesome scenes. And then since then I've shot with Bang Bros, I've shot with Reality Kings, I've shot with Naughty America, I've shot with Private Society, I've shot with ATK, FTV Girls, and there's a bunch that I could name, but I just got back actually from shooting a few scenes of Brazzers. And I think to date, these are some of the best scenes I've ever shot. So keep your eyes peeled, guys.
Hell yeah. Oh, that is, So like in a busy week, how many scenes do you think you would film? Like, is it like just...
Well, I try to honestly shoot for mainstream porn. I will shoot about 2 to 5 a month right now. I think especially with everything I have going on. And I like to think of shooting mainstream porn as like free advertising for everything else that I have going on, right? Because like I get paid a day rate to do the scene. And you always know what the scene is, you know, what the script is, what your rate is, who's going to be there. So you're never really walking in blind. It's literally just acting with a little bit more spiciness. And you know, I mean, it's in terms of like your OnlyFans, where I do have an OnlyFans and I also have a Fansly and a Loyal Fans, you can actually just shoot as much as you want. You can make it what you want. So I'd say like, you know, when I was just out in LA for 3 weeks or two, no, I was there for more like 2 weeks. I shot 2 mainstream scenes with Brazzers. I also did a live stream with Cherry Pimps, and that's a members only part of StreamMate. So it's like their kind of premium site, and it's all, you know, live streaming. I shot 3 OnlyFans content trades. I had a meeting for my startup. And let's see, I had another meeting for my series at Soho House, a couple other meetings as well with my employees. And I went out a couple times. So I stay busy. And I also hung out with a very boy that I'm getting to know.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, but I mean, don't get it twisted. I always have something sweet in the mix. You know, you always got different hosts, different area codes. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, yes. Oh, do I? Yeah.
So yeah, but I keep it busy. And if any of you guys are wondering what my startup is, so Bitter Blush, so bitter like the taste and blush like the makeup, is a blog that I started when I was in college. So I realized that there was not really a space for people to talk about stigmatized issues in a way that made them feel safe. So anything related to sex in terms of identity, mental health, things like that. And so we started this blog that truly I thought was going to be something fun that I did with my friends on the weekends, maybe. And then during lockdown, it started to grow and grow a lot because we were just, all of us were on our phones and talking about this sort of things, especially, you know, after George Floyd, after Elijah McClain, after Breonna Taylor, people really saw us as a resource. And I would get DMs all the time that said something along the lines of, thank you so much for posting this. I didn't know about this issue until I saw it on your blog. And so I thought, people want to learn, but they also aren't finding the information in a way that they can process it, and they're not finding what they like. So Bitter Blush is now transforming from just the blog to an app, kind of like Duolingo, where you can learn about different types of isms or phobias in a way that's buildable and doesn't feel like homework. Because I don't know if you've ever worked a corporate job. Have you ever done those like corporate trainings about like
e-learning?
God, they're boring. And they don't personal, and you're like learning what you're forced to learn, right? Can you imagine if you were like a mom and your daughter just came out as trans, you'd probably want to learn everything about transphobia. If you were a business and you wanted your employees to, you know, have DEI training that wasn't just sectioned to once a quarter or twice a year, you can have this app that like you can use as a DEI training tool and people can learn little by little. So Bitter Blush is more so becoming B2B and with a little bit of a B2C element. And then, you know, I got my series with Soho House called The Lust Files, which I host with Natasha Miller. She is my business partner. She's a sexologist. We met at a different speaking event and we got along really well. So we noticed that a lot of the spaces to talk about sex are mostly like, you know, slapstick comedy or about trauma, or they're specifically instructional. And so we wanted to create like an elevated space to talk about sex in like a very curiously empathetic way and like really foster community, because I think people are missing the IRL element right now. And so we have this partnership with Soho House and we host events there. So we've had a bunch of events, all of which have been sold out. So they're going extremely well. We had one that was all about the BDSM and kink community. And so we had 2 DOMs and one of their subs up on stage with us. And we were asking questions and talking. And then we had another event that was about having a better relationship with porn. So I was there as the expert on performance. We had somebody else who was a sex therapist, is like the expert on mental health. And then we had another person who is an STI destigmatization activist, and she was the expert on STIs. So yeah, but we are having another event April 9th in New York City, 6:30 to 8 at Ludlow House. We're going to announce it on our Instagram soon. But yeah, that one's all about orgasms. So we will be having Joanna Angel, who is one of the most, you know, successful, accomplished, widely known alt porn stars. We also have Dr. Evan Goldstein, who's a doctor that's widely known in the gay community. One of the things that he does is you can have Botox put in your behind holes, so that bottoming is a lot easier. And even as a non-gay man, but someone who, you know, does a lot of that kind of content, I am interested in that. So I'd already known of him. And then for this panel, I thought it would be perfect.
Yeah.
And then we also have Catherine Drysdale, who is a well-known pleasure and intimacy coach.
Jesus. So orgasms are real?
Very real. How do you
I know that's such a I mean, that is the thing. No shit. There are a lot of dudes. There's like a whole faction of dudes that don't believe that the female orgasm is a real thing.
Why? Because they've never done
Because they've never given one. I mean, most likely, if I had to guess. Yeah, if I had to guess, that would be why.
And to those guys who are listening, it's not even that female orgasms are real, as we can have so many. You know, there's the clitoral orgasm, internal, blended orgasms, anal. There's so many.
What the hell's it? What's a blended orgasm?
When it's two of them at the same time.
No, I mean like
anal, so like an internal and external orgasm at the same time.
Oh, geez. Now
right. Okay. Y'all don't know nothing about that.
No. No. Not really. Yeah. Yeah. My God.
Yeah.
Maybe I have a lot to learn, I guess.
I guess so.
Oh, well.
Yeah, right.
Too late now. No. Yeah, that's, yeah, I know it is interesting because obviously, like, sex is not a thing that most people are at all comfortable about talking about, especially like in any kind of public setting. Like I was telling you earlier, like I grew up super conservative, like conservative area, like a definitely upper middle class, but like hardcore Christian, like Southern Baptist bullshit, And I mean, we had maybe a 30-minute talk in school about STDs, and that's about it. And and then like my parents, I never had to talk to my parents about sex. Like they tried to one time, and I was like, "Fuck this!" Like I'll just listen to Howard Stern again, and then I'll learn about sex.
What did you think about sex that you've come to realize isn't true?
That is a good question. I mean, I think, as much as I obviously am a fan of porn.
Yes.
I definitely think before I was sexually active, but obviously very porn active, I thought sex would be more like that. Like, just more, I don't even know how to really describe it. Like just less icky. Which, like in porn, it's very churched up, like it's not how it is in real life. And then as you kind of become more sexually active, you're like, okay, so this is what I should actually be expecting. And that people are probably not, for the most part, into the type of things that you're seeing in porn.
Well, you'd honestly be surprised. And the other thing too is that like the way that I describe, real life sex and, porn is you would never really talk to your friends the same way that dialogue in a sitcom goes, right? Like you have to add up a performance element to it. And that doesn't mean that like the conversation's fake or unbelievable or totally inconceivable, but there's an element of performance because someone's watching. That's kind of important because, right, even missionary in your regular, let me go this way. In missionary, in regular life, you do this, but like with porn, you have to go like this so that you can see everybody's bodies.
Right. Well, so do I, but for other reasons. But like I look at it, which I've mentioned before, I just kind of look at it as professional wrestling. Like professional wrestling hurts. Like those motherfuckers are getting tore up.
Yeah.
Porn, similar. Like that shit. I mean, you're feeling it. I'm sure you're not just in there. Like it's not fake. The situation is fake.
Yes.
Like it, So that's kind of looking like the acting is fake. Like everybody knows what's about to happen before this starts, but everything that happens inside of that ring, oh boy, that's pretty damn real.
Yes.
And so that's kind of how, and that like you shouldn't think that like fighting someone is how wrestling would work because you would get your ass kicked.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You shouldn't think that like sex in the bedroom, like at home, is just like porn. Although you could probably, use it to learn some things, which
definitely.
I think porn is super like important. Like I've never really understood the whole like, we should get rid of porn. It fucking corrupts people, blah, blah, blah. It makes people deviant. People are deviant, whether or not there's porn. Actually, you could probably find studies that would show that deviancy lowers if people are more comfortable with porn and masturbation.
Absolutely. I mean, there's correlations between what the top trending Pornhub search categories are with discrimination. So we're seeing like rise of trans porn being one of the most widely searched porn, ebony porn also. And then we're also seeing so much, racism, so much transphobia, and those things actually really do correlate a lot.
Yeah, but also, do you think that racism and transphobia, that it's more of a sign that those things are becoming less and less, and that's why porn is like those categories become higher, or is it like the taboo of?
It's absolutely taboo, because I'm like, if you guys are watching us and getting off to us, but you're also trying to kill us, then there's a strange fascination, but also a dehumanization element there. So that's personally, absolutely, that's what I think.
No, I mean, you think that like, so like if someone, is, let's say, like highly transphobic, like for sure transphobic, but that's their search history is just transform, that is to like dehumanize that person, or that they really aren't transphobic and they're trying to like figure out what the fuck, like why, you know what I mean? Like,
but I think even that in itself is transphobic, because if you have to work really hard to wonder why you're attracted to a person or why you even like them, then you already don't see them as somebody worth liking. That's personally what I think.
Yeah, because you wouldn't do that for any other race or anything like that. Like, you wouldn't have to go, God, why am I so attracted to white women? Like,
right.
Exactly. You would never have to do that. Like, you just
never. Yeah. No, but also I like to joke with my friends, because like I love a goofy white guy who's like tall and like has curly hair like that. Like if I meet one, I mouth is open, you can spin my mouth kind of thing, right? And my friends they'll see guys and be like, that's Addis's type, and I'm like, guys, stop! I have a disease. I have a mental condition. Like if Jack Harlow walked in the room right now, sorry, Cody, I'd have to go.
Well, I am probably taller than Jack Harlow.
How tall are you?
But 6'3".
Oh, you guys are the same. I think he's like just that tall. You're pretty tall.
Yeah, but Jack Harlow's kind of a, well, I don't know.
What are you gonna say about my white king?
Just seems like a bit of a bitch, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, let's get into it, please. Well, he's a Pisces, so Pisces are kind of bitches anyway.
Well, whatever the fuck. I mean, to remake White Men Can't Jump, like, one, you're not Woody Harrelson. Ever. Woody Harrelson's one of the coolest fucking human beings of all time. And Jack Harlow has the charisma of a stick of butter. Like, he is,
also, my thing too is I watched that movie, and the thing about it, I think I made a TikTok about it too, and they really leaned into the stereotype of Jack Harlow's character is the kind of white guy who's kind of racist but somewhat harmless, versus he's the kind of white guy who does strange white guy things. Like there wasn't a moment that was like, oh my God, Jack Harlow, you didn't season this food properly, right? And he's like, oh no, but this food is actually pretty good. No, they didn't do that. They had his character bring a bottle of Henny to the cookout and be like, I brought some Henny to the cookout, right? It's like,
right.
You see what I'm trying to say?
So like pandering.
More, right? Yeah.
Like when Hillary Clinton told, the people that, I can't remember who it was. It was like it wasn't Breakfast Club. It was something like that. But she said that she keeps hot sauce in her purse, which is the biggest fucking lie I've ever heard in my life. But she's clearly pandering to people. And the White Man Can't Jump movie seemed like very much like pandering.
It was totally pandering.
But then you watch like the original one, and it isn't at all. Like it's a very, like you can obviously, I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I think it's really interesting now that they're trying to just remake a bunch of movies that we already liked. Like we already liked, Charlie and Chocolate Factory and Willy Wonka. We don't need Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah. I figured you'd be into a Chalamet type guy.
No, I'm sorry. He looks a little anemic.
Yeah. No, yeah. He definitely has like kind of a like sort of a Fiona Apple thing going on.
I know, right? But also too, he looks like the kind of guy who like plays devil's advocate, or like the kind of asshole who says, yeah, I watch a lot of foreign films. That is who you didn't want to be. That's him.
Yeah. He definitely he's probably a pretentious prick if I had to just, take a stab at it. Mm-hmm. My God. If you could make a porn version of any movie, what would it be?
Ooh, honestly, I would do a porn version of Mean Girls where instead of the big fight scene at the end, it's a huge orgy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right.
Lindsay Lohan would probably still be in it.
I would be honored to have the Cancer Queen. She is a Cancer. Actually, I know that because she has the same birthday as my younger brother.
Okay. I was gonna say, how in the fuck?
I know a
Okay.
lot of random celebrity signs. Like Central C is a Gemini. Sydney Sweeney's a Virgo. Skepta is a Virgo as well. Let's see, Drake and Future are Scorpios. It's just something that I keep in the bank of Addis's back
So
pocket.
Scorpio means you're like kind of a whiny douche.
I mean, let's look at the material. We've got Leonardo DiCaprio. We've
There
got
we
Joe
go.
Biden. We've got Tyga. We've got Diddy, and we've got Montana. Terrible track record.
Where's Kate Middleton in? Is there a sign that goes missing for months at a time?
So where do you think she is? I think she's getting.
Okay, so God, I know this is going to turn into a big fucking rabbit hole, but I don't care. So I have been hearing that she's getting a BBL, and Kate Middleton's very attractive, I will say.
Sure.
I typically am not like just super attracted to like kind of normal looking white women. Like Natalie Portman, Anne Hathaway, like that kind of where you're just like, God damn, these people are kind of boring looking. No offense, but Kate Middleton's pretty attractive. If she got a BBL, I mean, my God, Texas could keep Pornhub away forever. Like, I'd just put me on them. I'll just watch ABC News every night. Be like, here
Can
we
you
go.
imagine she's just double cheeked up at Buckingham Palace?
God,
girl,
it would be amazing.
Oh my God, the British are coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
I mean, William doesn't deserve, like, he doesn't deserve that. He seems
like the kind of guy who'd be like really into pegging.
Oh, wasn't that a thing where
yeah, like I totally believe it.
Trying to peg him and he didn't want it?
I feel like they probably spun that story to make it the opposite, because there's no way that in her mind that average looking calm white woman wanted to peg.
I don't know. It kind of depends, because some like average looking white women feel like they have to overcompensate. So they'll just do some wild shit.
She just has such a boring energy. Like if I had to describe Kate Middleton with one word, I don't think I really could. I feel like girls who are plain looking but are really freaks on the down low, there's one adjective where like she's energetic, she's responsible, she's blah blah blah. Okay. I can't give Kate Middleton an adjective, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. So earlier when you were talking about how like whenever you're gonna do a scene, you can tell like ahead of time like what this person is gonna want even before having to really talk about it. So you could do that with basically anyone after meeting them for a extended period of time. Like what would like when you look at a Harry versus William, like which one do you see as being the bigger freak? It has to be Harry, right?
It's not even necessarily the bigger freak. I see the one that Kate Middleton is married to as being more of a sub. He's more of a sub to me, because I feel like people who are naturally dominant in their regular life, like me, in the bedroom are super submissive, because it's like decision fatigue. It's like, that's the one place where I want to have fun and not have to make all the rules. He seems a little too much like he makes the rules in their everyday royal family life. So when he's in the bedroom, he wants to be pegged. That's what I'm saying. Right?
I can see it. Yeah, I think, I mean, you know, just to put a ribbon on this, I definitely think she's in a coma somewhere and things are not looking good.
Well, I really, really hope that at the very least she's going to come out, you know, with a Coke bottle body, BBL. And if she's not, then I hope that she makes it out safe. But
okay, so maybe not a bow on this yet. She comes out full BBL, like crazy BBL. Who would you rather have a three-way with? Her and old Willie, or Meghan Markle and Harry?
Oh, it's definitely her. I want to see what that thing do. Got to see what that thing do.
Yeah, I find Meghan Markle to be insanely attractive, but I find Prince Harry to be one of the most annoying fucking people on the planet.
Did you read his book? Did you read his book?
No, because apparently we're supposed to give them all the space that they want, yet they can't stop fucking talking about themselves.
I know. Like, they have no other material. No other material. I'm like, here's my thing is, as a Black person, I know that pretty much any situation I'm going to walk into is going to have some flavor of racism, some flavor of every single situation. And I'm like, so Megan, you went with your light-skinned body and you went to the original colonizers and thought that they were going to not have any flavor at all of racism? Be very for real.
I mean, like, look how they treated fucking Princess Diana, and she's white.
Girl.
Like, you think you're going to get treated better than Princess Diana.
I'm
They
saying, who
most likely
invented
fucking killed.
sweatshirts and bike shorts as a uniform?
Yeah, it's pretty astonishing to think that that shit was gonna work out. I mean, obviously it should, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean the royal family are just a bunch of pieces of shit, and it shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
really be that way. But it's hard for me not to think Meghan Markle might be a bit of a dipshit too, which is sad
Absolutely.
to say, because yeah, she is a very attractive person, but I feel like she might be just as much of a jackass as Prince Harry.
I think so, but also, I mean, birds of a feather. But also, too, like I feel like people who've been hot their whole life, which is not me, not me. I used to be ugly.
All right.
People who've been hot their whole lives have no personality whatsoever because they never had skills or any humor, any personality. Like, there's this one guy I had a fling with. He was 6'4", a IMG model. He was like half Algerian, half Colombian, something like that. Gorgeous man.
God, and the amount of drug smuggling in his family's past. Holy shit.
Oh my God. He was so attractive. And he had like tattoos. He had like some on his neck. Oh, he was so hot. But when I tell you, I couldn't maintain a conversation with him.
Yeah.
So I'd set him free.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's not even, I'll say that it's not even just people who have been hot their whole lives. Some people, like, as soon as they do get hot, their personality just drops.
Jack Harlow.
It's weird because, there's a lot of people where it's like, oh, I don't have to try to be like fun anymore, which has to be nice. I mean, I wish I could be like that. Like, where I mean,
that's honestly why I loved, doing sex work when I first started, because I'm so used to, like, if I have something, I've worked for it, right? Like, I was the only person in my household who spoke Chinese, so I couldn't ask my parents for help with my homework. So learning Chinese was something I had to learn on my own. Running, I was an NCAA athlete. My mile time in college was a 5:17. So I used to be very, very fast. And running is a very, right? Like, that's actually like a crazy time to even think about. Like where are you going? Where are you going, Addis? But like I've learned.
That's fucking amazing, though. Yeah.
Thank you. I got used to the fact that if I'm training hard enough, I will get that time. If I build up this company, it will exist, it will succeed. And so if I want to go to this school, I can study really hard and get into this school. So the idea that like all I had to do was be pretty and exist was so appealing to me, until I realized that, one, the quick wins that you're thinking of are quick for a reason and they're fleeting. But two, porn is absolutely not just being pretty. You have to know how to angle your body. You have to be able to engage both your partners if it's a group scene and the camera at the same time. You have to be able to improvise. You have to be able to show up on time and stay on top of your appearance. There's so much organization and communication that happens. So to even go back to what you were saying about, do I know what people are going to like? I can, like the Prince William thing, take a wild guess. And but every time I do a scene, I ask people, what is on your no list? What do you really respond well to? What you do not have people do at all. So for me, I don't really like very aggressive blowjobs, and I don't like when people put their tongue in my ear. I just don't like.
When they do what?
Really?
Put their what in your ear?
Their tongue.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear.
Yeah, not like biting the earlobe, but like.
No, I know, but like sticking the. That's fucking.
I don't like it. I know.
So wet willy.
Yeah, I'm not into it. So I used to be able to tell people that a lot of, straight men that I shoot with would be like, I don't like my butthole played with. And, I'm like, okay, cool. So you know what I don't do? That.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is, that's the big no.
Yeah.
What a horrible thing. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, so do you, like, have you had things be like on your no list that kind of over time dropped off the no list because you got more comfortable, or like is it just this hard line like
There's a couple of things that have I can, if I know the person a bit better, I'm more flexible on it, right? Like spitting in my mouth, or like spit in general. I'm like, if I know you a little bit better and I know that like you're up to date on your hygiene, and that like I kind of trust that is going to be a fun experience for me, I allow that. But for people that I don't know, it's not something that I entertain.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to find out the hard way that their hygiene isn't too good.
And trust me, I have. So
God.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be some times where it was like, this is a rough day. I mean, I guess like any job when you come home, you're like, oh, today at work was amazing. But then you might come home and you're like, holy fuck. This sucks.
Oh yes, there's been times where I'm like, damn, today was a really hard day at work. But then other scenes that I've shot, like there's this one scene I shot for Team Skeet, and that was a BGG, so boy, girl, and that was out for Valentine's Day. And I left that set. I was like, that was an amazing day at work. Me and the other girl went and got sushi afterwards. We stayed in touch. It was great. But then there's other days where I'm like, oh, just a day, not good, not bad. And other times where I'm like, that was awful. I hated today. My scene partner was annoying. Everything went wrong. It's just like a regular job. And the thing about sex work is that people often ask me, do you feel empowered? Do you feel empowered to do the work that you do? And the thing is, I don't, because it's not the point of work. You never go into Chipotle and ask the Chipotle workers, do you feel empowered to work at Chipotle? You don't ask, anybody else at their desk job who does that. Right. Point, right? So I actually don't feel empowered. To me, it's simply a job, and I happen to enjoy a lot of elements of it.
But you also do, but to that, like, there definitely has to be a certain amount of confidence you have to have, like, to put yourself completely naked on camera. Like, I mean, for some people that requires more confidence than others, but there's still a certain level where it's like, you have to be pretty damn good about, like, feel good about who you are. But also, like, you probably get out a lot more, like, empowerment by like writing and doing like the million other damn things you do. Like
I do.
Doing porn is like, is an awesome thing, but like that's probably not where you get like the most of yourself out,
Totally. I mean, I've written for Glamour, I've written for 529, I've written for Runner's World, other big publications and smaller ones too. I do not discriminate. So if there's any publications that are listening that are like, hey, I'd want her to write about, any of the above subjects that we've talked about or anything else, please come to me if you need a quote. And I do feel a lot of empowerment through writing. I say that words are not things, words are spells. And because the way that we process things is by the words that we learn them by. And also even just like, let's say you make an assumption that someone is angry. It's because you learned what anger was. Someone explained to you what anger was. And therefore you were like, this person seems angry to me when maybe they're actually not. And think about if someone tells you I love you or something like that. That is a way that that person's words have kind of put a spell on your heart, either for better or for worse, strong or weak, right? So I do get a lot of empowerment from my writing because I feel like there are very few people in the porn industry who do the kinds of multifaceted things that I do. And I feel like because of that, I'm able to really speak to what actually makes the sex industry. And I don't believe that porn should be banned. I think that porn addiction is often a symptom of something else. Porn addiction has been debunked so many times. It is impulsivity, and it doesn't change your brain chemistry in the same way a heroin addiction would, or an alcohol addiction, or a smoking addiction would. It literally
look at us, like we had drinking problems, but like I don't see you going out and protesting bars saying like that shouldn't exist, and neither would I. Like I highly encourage people to drink if they can do it and like manage.
Right. And that was something I had to learn.
The same way to me. Like it's like
oh yeah. I mean that's something I had to learn.
Had a problem with it, I would not be telling people like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this shit either.
Right.
Like, I just wouldn't do it.
Right, because the world doesn't revolve around Cody Tucker.
Yeah, well, I would like for it to at sometimes, but
me too. When it
does, to revolve around me. Okay, thank you.
I mean, that's something I really had to cope with when I, got out of rehab. I was like, at first there were people that I couldn't see, places I couldn't go, things I couldn't do right when I first got out. But then the second phase of healing is really understanding that the world does not stop because I'm sober. The world doesn't stop because I've made a decision. And realistically, I'm an attractive girl. I could walk into any bar in the East Village, bat my eyelash extensions and be like, hi, my name is Addis. Can I get a bump? It's the idea that you don't want to do that. Cocaine will exist, Molly will exist, weed will exist, whether I like it or not, and so it's up to you. But I really, don't think that porn addiction is real. And I think, it's a way to, it's a manifestation of whorephobia. And the term sex work is work to me sounds very trite. I don't say it anymore because I feel like a lot of times it's a way for people to sound very woke without actually understanding. And what I like to say is sex workers are workers because it says that no matter what you think of the profession, the person who's doing it is a human, and that's what makes it valid. Not that it's labor itself.
Right. Yeah, you're not humanizing the industry, you're humanizing the human, which is
Exactly.
way more important to do. I mean, holy shit, that's interesting. Because I mean, it's just amazing to me, like, in Texas, like where I'm at, for them to just like make it to where you can't go on Pornhub, which obviously there's a million other fucking porn sites. And it's really not like the site itself. It's just the thing of saying that, like, we will allow people to openly carry firearms into a Walmart, but you better not try to look at, a penis going into a vagina or any other hole.
Right, and that's crazy that it's considered open expression and creating your own boundaries and discovering what makes you safe. And meanwhile, other people can't do that. Anything else that is deemed deviant. Let's talk about it. Let me
tell you something. I don't know if you've ever been anywhere where someone was openly carrying.
Yes.
It doesn't make anybody in that fucking place feel safe because the person doing it, and maybe you shouldn't judge books by their covers. I believe wholeheartedly that you should. The person openly carrying is the worst person that you want to have a gun strapped to their fucking waist. It's never like a dude that looks like Clint Eastwood or something. It's some dude who looks like he just got off a meth bender, still has frosted tips from 2001. And you got both things, and you're like, that isn't who this law is for. Like,
not at all. No,
I want it to be some like, 60-year-old like Tom Selleck looking dude. Like, when I see that guy walking around, I'm like, all right, I actually do kind of feel safe.
What if it was a lady that looked like Julie Andrews or like Oprah? What would you? Could they carry a gun? What do you think?
Okay, again, I'm gonna try not to sound sexist here.
Go for it.
But one of the things that I don't like about the open carry thing is the fact that, like, okay, let's say the person doing it, carrying, is a very good person and would never do anything wrong. Like, they're doing it to like protect others in case some like mass shooter comes in. Well, the problem is that what if some fucking psycho just cold cocks you and takes your gun? That is a whole lot easier to do to Mary Poppins than it is to, and I'm not really a tough son of a bitch, but it'd be harder to do that to me. I have a very weak chin, but I could probably take a shot more than fucking, Martha Stewart. Barbara
That's actually a really good point. That's a really good point.
That's my only issue, where it's like, I don't want to discriminate on who can do it, but you do kind of have to think about, like, what could happen. And
That's
also,
I feel like my grandparents are the kind of grandparents who would like leave their gun at church by accident.
Yeah. Oh, I actually am not 100% against like concealed carry, because if you're doing it right, nobody knows you have a goddamn gun.
Yeah, right.
Which I mean, it's fucking, a lot of it is just very little dick energy to feel like I cannot go into a goddamn Walmart without having my piece on me. Like, what a bitch. Like,
Oh my God.
But that's, I'm also a person who's afraid of guns. So maybe that's part of it. Yeah. I'm not against guns. Whatever. If you want to go hunting, I don't give a shit. But like, I'm just fucking scared of them.
Yeah, I think that's
I'm just scared. I'm scared of the noise. I'm scared of everything. Like, I don't like it. I mean, I'm also the type of person who plugs my ear. I'm also the type of person who plugs my ears whenever a train goes by or an ambulance goes by.
Stop. Like, are you the kind of Cody Tucker? Are you the kind of guy who like dips your big toe into the pool to see if it's cold?
Hell no, I'll jump right in. I think, okay, you want to have something to judge me for? I take freezing cold showers every single morning.
The whole shower, or
the whole shower? So I start off. So like mine, I mean, I guess like most, it's like a little lever goes hot, cold, left, right, hot, cold. I go straight up, so it's like the medium, and then I slowly get colder and colder as the shower goes. It's never hot, and I do that every time. So no, I'm a big fan of like, God, just getting blasted with cold water.
My God. So like, could I waterboard you one day?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't do anything to me.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can't die from it. It's all in your head, which the amount of like panic attacks I've had over my lifetime, like I've gotten so good at like controlling my breathing. Like, so I feel like I could commit so many acts of terrorism and be just fine.
Basically what you're saying is, if any person needs someone to go down on them, call Cody Tucker, because he can control his breathing.
Oh, well, I mean, that's been that's been a message I've been trying to put out since I was 12 years old. So,
Amazing.
yeah. I guess we're helping the cause here, but
Oh, of course. Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, yeah, I've always been pretty good about that. So yeah, if you want to waterboard me, that's fine. I mean, it
Amazing.
is
Amazing.
definitely not a thing that I thought was going to get brought up today.
Well, you
But
know what? I feel like you would actually really love the Lust Files panel that we're doing in April, because it's all about orgasms. I feel like that's something that many people, most people, I want to say many or most, have experience with, and because we put a lot of effort into making this like a not heteronormative panel. I think that like it's something that a lot of people could really resonate with, but it's also crazy that how many people end up showing up. It's usually about 70 people in the room, and we can list people who are not Soho House members. You can just sign up through a link in our bio, and then if you're a Soho House member, you can see it on the app and then sign up through the app as well.
So I was going to ask, is it live? So it is live streamed, like the whole, like in its entirety, like live streamed?
Oh, it's just at the event, so it's event exclusive. You got to come.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, if there was like a link, like a live stream link.
You know what? We are thinking of actually making a recorded version available like, a day or two later. But as for a live stream, we can't do that just because of the no photos and stuff policy at Soho House.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. I mean, it is like a thing that it'd be better for you to see in person.
Oh,
you get
absolutely.
to feel more comfortable. There's something about, like being in a room with people that just is, I don't know, it knocks down the little borders we all kind of have.
Totally. And I love meeting people in person. Like, so I was in the AVN 2024 awards campaign. So, I mean, I felt like I was the little girl star amongst these massive stars, like the Olivia Rodrigo amongst like the Taylor Swifts, the Ariana Grande. So I'm in this campaign with like Emma Magnolia and Angela White, and this like really big stars, Yelena Marie. I'm in this campaign with Willow Ryder and other people who have made big waves. So it was a huge honor to be included. And then I go to AVN, I'm signing at the AVN booth. I'm meeting so many of my fans in person, and that was really, really eye-opening because I realized that I have an effect on real people. And like, I was able to speak to them face to face, and they were able to talk to me, and they were so kind. I even at the Lust Files event, the last one we did, people had started to walk in, and this girl kind of shrieks. And she's one of the only people in the room with her friends. And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? Did you drop something? Are you good? And she goes, no, I'm just such a huge fan. And it was crazy to see you in person. And I was like, oh my God. So if you're my fans of any facet of my work, my writing, I get emails all the time from people who say that my writing has helped them. If you love watching me bust it open on the internet, if you love my TikToks, if you love my podcast that I'm on, or the Lust Files itself, you come to the event, we can talk in person. You can see me in person. And I'm always excited to meet somebody who's a fan. So.
Hell yeah. That is so fucking awesome. It's such a cool thing that you do like so much stuff too. Yeah. It's all stuff that like is very beneficial, I think. Whether it be like porn, whether it be like the Soho House writing, whatever. Like it's all like it helps somebody somewhere. I mean, even if you don't ever get to meet that person, I mean, you get to meet some of them. But I do have, so I know we're hitting the old hour mark, but I do try to ask just some like random bullshit questions at the end. So, all right, cool. Who is to you the most overrated band or artist? Like a band everybody loves, but you fucking hate.
I think a band that's way too overrated, but has like one or two songs that I like is The Killers.
Oh yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. I've never.
Yeah, right. Like after Mr. Brightside, did they have the same rise? Come on.
Well, there was Mr. Brightside, then there was that one. There was like Somebody Told Me.
Yes. Oh my God.
That song's amazing too. And then When You Were Young's a good song too. Okay, well there it is. So that makes sense. Yeah, mine's either the Eagles or Aerosmith. Yeah, just a bunch of bullshit. And Drake and Taylor Swift.
Oh, Drake, absolutely. I have a whole thing against Drake. I actually have a TikTok that is, I think that Drake is actually just a white woman in disguise. So you should go watch that because one, he's obsessed with pro athletes. Two, he has a Marilyn Monroe portrait in his Toronto home. Three, he loves to collect. Like, yeah, right. It's
kind of weird. That's fucking weird.
Very weird.
Any dude with a Marilyn Monroe portrait is kind of strange.
Is up to no good. He's up to no good.
Because there's also, I will say, and maybe for the time, Marilyn Monroe is a very overrated human being.
You know what's actually fascinating
really
about
not
Marilyn? No.
attractive,
I think her legacy is overrated, but what she actually did for the sex work community is underrated. That's what I would say. Like the whole sex workers having one name, like their first name starting with the same letter as their last name, like August
alliteration.
Era. That alliteration exactly was because Marilyn Monroe. She started that. She started that whole thing.
Huh.
Yes,
Dang.
but among other things about Marilyn Monroe that I find,
you might be right.
Yeah.
He's just really like quite possibly the worst actor of all time.
Agreed.
And not that attractive even compared to the women back then, because there's people like Sophia Loren. Like you can go back and there's like women who are like the most beautiful women to ever live.
Josephine Baker.
Josephine Baker. Oh yeah, like I think like there was like a prime. You know, obviously there's women who are massively attractive today. I mean, that's insane to think there isn't, but like there's something about like the like elegance and sex, like sexiness of people like Audrey Hepburn and what fucking like Billie Holiday. Like there's so many people where you're just like, God damn. And like, I mean, and it, you know, that's kind of just, there's that, but you know, I kind of lost my train of thought. I was thinking about fucking Jane Mansfield.
You're like daydreaming about the baddies. I think honestly, the reason why we don't have video vixens like we used to is because everybody has the same face now with filler and Botox and all these figures. So it's like you could have that one girl who's in a Pooh Shiesty video, who's also in a Lil Baby video, but I wouldn't be able to tell because they all look the same.
Yeah, and women don't smoke cigarettes anymore, which is really a horrible thing. Yeah, I mean, like models, like you don't see models like smoking cigarettes, like not publicly. Like you go back and look at pictures of like Ava Gardner and shit. She was smoking 3 packs a day, and it made her. I mean, it aged her ass like a glass of milk, but still, you know, she was like 28 and looked like she was 40, which for me, highly attracted to older women. So you put you make a 28-year-old look 40. God damn, you are.
Well, if you are highly attracted to older women, then you should take a look at my interview with Lisa Ann. We were on a podcast too, and I think you would love that interview.
Oh yeah, I am a fan for sure.
Yeah, me too. That's my girl. That's my homie. That's
like that was like, I mean, everybody has like their childhood crush. Like the first person that I got like introduced to porn where I actually like knew who this person was and was like looking for this person's stuff was for sure Lisa Ann. Like,
oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, obviously I would watch whatever porn I could find, but like once I really got like some dial-up, some, you know, high-speed internet going, I was like, fucking, I could not type in Lisa Ann's name fast enough.
Look at this guy. He's a regular porn scavenger, huh?
My little 11-year-old fingers were just like, oh my God. Yeah, I don't know what the hell it was, but
right?
Yeah, she's amazing. All right, hold on. So overrated band. What was your first concert or first big concert?
First big concert was Sean Paul opening for Mariah Carey. I believe that was the Mimi tour.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, Mariah Carey. That's another one. Like, so like 90s, there's a peak in the 90s for like women being super attractive too, but like Mariah Carey, like big hair has always been a thing I've been a fan of. So like 80s, 90s, like Mariah Carey and shit like that. Yeah, like Shania Twain, even there's like some, yeah.
Like a Jessica Simpson. She always had those big curls. Jessica
Simpson was very attractive to me too. Christina Aguilera at one point too. Like there's like a I mean, I've mentioned it a million times. But like Lil Kim was my childhood crush. Like just holy fuck, Lil Kim and Carmen Electra.
Scared of the dick. Now I do flips for the shit. That's me.
Oh, Lil Kim was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
A childhood celebrity crush, I guess.
I had a few. I really loved Corbin Bleu in High School Musical. And I was a full-on Directioner. I never really like expressed it publicly, but I probably read every single One Direction fan fiction to ever exist.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I feel like I was like a Harry Sun, Niall Moon, Zayn Rising.
Okay. Yeah. Same, I guess. Yeah. I was a big Backstreet Boys fan.
Ooh, yes. Yeah. Did you see that NSYNC just got back together?
Yeah. I was a pretty big NSYNC fan too.
Yeah.
But Backstreet Boys way more. I've always felt like they had a lot more talent. NSYNC just had Justin Timberlake, which, you know, does put you a league above. But
yeah, I think Justin Timberlake's kind of bitch made too.
Boy, is he. Yeah. Yeah, Justin Timberlake seems like a real piece of shit.
Yeah.
I think that's become more and more documented. Yeah. Which I think Britney Spears is out of her fucking mind too. So it's hard to believe anything she says.
I love Britney. There's something actually like I really do love women who really don't give a fuck. Like, of Rihanna, even in Azealia Banks, especially if they're black, there's something very special to me about a woman who just doesn't give a fuck.
That's yes. Okay, so 100% agree. That to me, a like, how like when you see Rihanna in interviews and shit, she kind of has like an added like sort of an aggressiveness, but it's like subdued. It's like I don't know. It's very like old school feeling, and there's something very attractive about that. And you have to be somebody who's very confident to like carry yourself the way Rihanna carries herself.
Yes.
Britney Spears just has a severe mental disorder that is making her not know what she's doing. So to me, that's like, I can't put Britney Spears at that same. Like,
I think she does. Yeah, I think also too. I really do admire how free she is right now, and also too. Like, think about it this way. So I volunteer with an incarcerated person through Empowerment Abs. So you're partnered, a writer and an incarcerated person, and we work with them and help them get their writing published on the outside. And my person, Tony Cobb, has been in jail since his early 20s. So he's been in jail for about 30 years now. And so he doesn't know how to use an iPhone. I taught him what a DM was the other day. There's things about the modern world that he just doesn't know. And Tony doesn't have like, a mental condition or, like a lot of PTSD or things that, Britney may be struggling with or is struggling with. Yeah. So he is like, thinking about when he's like about to get out, how he's going to adjust. And there's going to be certain things that he just like, it's hard to pick up on. Like, you can't just DM somebody out of the blue and, ask them out if you don't know them very often, right? There's a way to operate on social media that he wouldn't really know, and it might come off as like really strange. I think Britney is a more extreme version of that, especially because of her cognitive health right now.
That is a very good way of looking at it. Yeah, 100%. She is like a person who just spent like 60 years in prison. And like, yeah, of course she's a little fucking loopy, but
right, like, because like we know that like I wouldn't post a picture of me like just dancing, doing whatever I want with knives, safe or not, in my room. But she's like, I've never posted anything on my own in my life.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about her.
Dancing with knives is a hell of a move, though.
That is very true.
That's when we're like, God damn, you couldn't, you didn't see that this was not the best move.
Well, that's true. But yeah, no, my first concert ever, Sean Paul, Mariah Carey.
That's amazing.
And I convinced myself that Mariah Carey was looking at me in the eye, and I told my dad, I was
probably did.
And he was like, sure.
Probably did. Why not? Yeah. What is a non-horror movie that scared you as a kid? For me, it's Snow White. If that, just to give an example.
Oh, Anastasia. I distinctly remember having a fever dream, and those little things were dancing around the room, and I never saw it the same since.
That's a good one. Yeah, Rasputin's a pretty scary son of a bitch, too.
That's a scary name.
Yeah. He's a scary human. I mean, he's a real person. He's goddamn terrifying.
Can you imagine introducing your child to the world? Hi, guys, this is my newborn baby. His name is Rasputin.
His name is Grigory Rasputin. And boy, yeah, he is a terrifying son of a bitch. If you could make any food 0 calories, what would it be?
Ben and Jerry's half-baked.
Holy fuck. God, I almost just married you. Jesus. Ben and Jerry. I mean, damn near the whole fucking line of ice creams from Ben and Jerry's.
I saw, do you know there's a new flavor that's cannoli flavored? I saw it in the store yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Christ.
I know.
I've been trying to do really good about like my eating and exercising and shit, but I think that might get ruined tonight.
I just tipped you over the edge. My bad.
Maybe. Oh, well, bug it. But yeah, no, I didn't realize that like in 1 pint of that shit, it's like 1,200 calories.
Oh, yes.
Oh, no.
And I've eaten 1 pint by myself in several instances.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've never not eaten the whole thing.
I know.
That's insane. That's
I
insane.
actually had an ex once who would eat like 1 or 2 bites of his ice cream and then put it back. I should have known right then and there that we weren't going to work out.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's an ex. Yeah, holy shit. That's suspicious ass behavior for sure. Yeah, I mean, no, you got to eat the whole goddamn thing. But Stephen Colbert's Americone Dream is my favorite. The one that's the chocolate-covered waffle cones and shit.
Yes.
Yeah. And Cherry Garcia, of course, is a classic.
Oh, yeah, classic. Sometimes I'll do like a Cherry Garcia scoop. I will do a strawberry cheesecake scoop, and then I'll do a half-baked scoop.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn. Fuck talking about porn and shit. This is
right. It's turning you on.
Anything. Good Lord. I'm not gonna be able to stand up for hours. What is a game show that you think you do best on?
America's Next Top Model. I think I actually have the attitude.
That's not a game show.
It's not a game show. Okay, I actually.
It's like a competition. So no, like American Idol and shit, like an actual like.
Okay. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Because I am.
Those fifth graders? No.
Yeah, I used to watch it all the time.
All.
Used to watch it all the time and be like, oh, got that one.
Yeah, it's very easy. Mine's Jeopardy. I've been trying out for Jeopardy since I was probably about 10. Whatever the youngest age is for like the kids level. I fucking Jeopardy is my shit. Like yeah, Jeopardy for sure. I think I do pretty good on Wheel of Fortune, but it'd be so hard not to strangle the other two people because every time all they do is they just, as soon as they get something right, immediately buy every fucking vowel. Like, you idiot.
Right.
Like, you moron. Like, you just spend all your money on these pointless shit. I don't know. Sorry. But I do think
you're like getting heated. Think about the ice cream. Think about the fact that we're gonna get married and eat ice cream forever and ever. It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
There we go.
I feel better now. I feel like I already know the answer to this one, but do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that's why I don't live by myself, because then what if it's just me and the ghost?
Then you wouldn't be by yourself.
That's a good point.
It'd be a nice one.
I don't know about that.
Likely, but
in Jamaican culture, we call it Duppy, and I'm afraid of him. So.
Oh, so it's like so Duppy is a singular thing, like a boogeyman.
It's way of thinking like of like a spirit.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm afraid of Duppy so much. Can't talk about it. Next question. Oh my god.
Interesting. See, and that's interesting. Yeah, I don't believe in ghosts.
Did you think that I was gonna be? You knew that I was gonna be afraid of ghosts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you believe in goddamn astrology. I figured you'd at least believe in ghosts.
Correct.
I mean, ghosts makes a little bit more sense. Here, this might become a weird one. What's your favorite unusual smell? So not something you'd see like made into a candle. For example, mine is gasoline.
That was gonna be mine. Okay, I'll choose another one. I like gasoline, and I also like when you open a new shower cap or shower curtain. That's like a plastic smell.
Oh my god. Yes.
Yeah.
That is such a good one. I've never, oh my God. Yeah. Also walking into like a Home Depot or Lowe's and that smell of like processed wood. Jesus Christ. I mean, like I'm not
sawdust. It's like a little sawdust and anger, you know?
Like I can't build or remodel shit for shit. But I will walk through Home Depot every once in a while just to get that smell. It makes you feel like a man for a second. It's like, all right, time to go back to players and get my ears pierced. All right, sorry. And then I'll do one more, and then we'll call it. Okay, this is a pretty good one. What is something that instantly relaxes you? It's like you could be having a super stressful day, fucking maybe anxiety. I don't know if you have anxiety, but something like, anxiety-ridden day. Is there a single thing that could just instantly calm you down?
One thing that calms me down when I'm having a super stressful day is my transcendental meditation. I try to do it twice a day and for 20 minutes. So in the morning and then sometime around 3 or 4, that will calm me down, put me in a really good headspace. And I feel like I'm way more adaptable to stressors.
Do you go to those little meetups with Jerry Seinfeld and all them?
No, I don't know what I would be doing there.
Well, there's kind of a thing with TM about it kind of being a cult.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. I didn't know that either. Like you're
gonna have to send me some resources on that. I've never. I thought myself.
No, so I always thought TM sounded pretty interesting as a person who has
Mm-hmm.
bad anxiety. I was like, I should probably start looking into this.
Yeah.
Then I started reading how like there's these retreats that like Seinfeld, Paul McCartney, fucking Howard Stern, Jimmy Kimmel, like all these, the elites or whatever go to, and basically they just all like kind of suck each other's dicks about how great they are for doing TM.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems very cult like.
I feel like they probably actually do suck each other's dicks anyway. So
yeah, it could be. And I'm not against cults. I plan wholeheartedly to start one at some point.
Yeah.
But it just seems weird. But I definitely would get into it. Mine is watching chiropractic videos.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. I mean, I know they're causing severe damage to people, but I don't give a fuck. They're not doing it to me. I mean, hearing somebody's entire spine separate, just,
Oh, yeah. When they put them in the thing, then they twist the neck. Ooh.
Oh, yes. The neck. And then whenever they get the feet, like there's some where they grab the feet.
I've seen someone like when they have their it's almost like they have their leg up, but it's like bent, and then they like push the foot back, and they get the hip crack. Oh yeah.
God, I mean, I have the hips of a fucking pregnant woman.
Julie Andrews.
Yeah, I do have Julie Andrews hips. I'd say maybe more like Rosie O'Donnell hips.
Okay. Ooh. Fair.
So not good, not not
good, not great.
It's there. I got birthing hips for sure.
Oh, yes.
So what, seeing somebody just pop their hips is an amazing fucking thing. And
yes,
boy, do and pimple popping, like blackhead removal, not like full.
Remove the earwax.
I don't like that one.
You don't like that one? Be like pimple popping?
I like the blackhead removal pimple popping.
Like when they go like that.
Yeah, it's not like full, like giant fucking like cysts and shit.
Oh no,
but like. But whenever whenever it's just like the blackheads and they do like the little scraper, they like poke it and then kind of poke, squeeze, and scrape. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that makes me feel pretty good. So, well, I guess no better way to end it.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. And if anybody who's watching who's like a fan of watching me on the Hub, I will be signing at Exotica Chicago that weekend. So if you're in Chicago or you want to come to Chicago to meet me, have me sign anything, literally bring anything, I'll sign it. You can take pictures, anything.
So what all? I mean, sorry to keep going, but what all like goes on at an Exotica? Because they don't do them anywhere around here. Like Texas, which is such bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, so basically it's like, vendors that sell, clothes and toys and things. People who are performers can sign. I've seen there's a spice company that has very suggestive names, and they always have a booth. People do performances, all kinds of stuff there. I've seen even there was a booth one year where someone was teaching performers how to make their nudes into NFTs. All kinds of stuff.
Okay. So like sort of a Comic-Con kind of thing. Kind of.
Exactly. It's like Comic-Con, but sexier.
Fuck yeah. Well, not hard to do that. But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And also before we go, where can everybody find you? I mean, if you want to plug your socials.
So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, OF. And at my own website. So Addis Fouche, that's my handle for everything. And then my website is just addisfouche.com. Give me a shout.
Hell yes. Well, Addis, this was fucking awesome.
Yes, it was.
Let me go ahead. Well, until next week, everybody take care. Goodbye.